There you go. Hey, Phil the Cruz down here, cruising with Phil on location at Pride Parade today. We got a special guest here. I just met this special. I love your colors. Let me introduce.
Hi there. Hi, my name is Blue Jay. My pronouns are he, him. This is my third Pride. I am doing a flag signing thing. I want trans and non-binary people to sign my flag with their chosen name. A lot of people can't, write their chosen name. A lot of people still in the closet, so it's kind of nice to have them be able to have somewhere to write it on.
That's great. Wow.
Yeah.
So what brings you down to the parade? Just your third time, right?
Yes, yeah. I'm particularly fond of the market and buying things. I've never really stayed for the full parade, but I've seen bits and pieces. But I'm fond of buying things, so I walk around the market for 4 or 5 hours, and then I go home.
That's great. Do you follow the election? I was in the election. I have a fellow candidate, Isabella Gang. She's a transgender for ODSP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she's well known, and she talked about her journey. Yeah, just want to say, with your journey, have you had any difficulty with your?
Yes, absolutely. I tell people that transitioning is a lot of waiting. There's waiting to get on. To even get on the wait list for hormones, and then waiting to get hormones, and then waiting for the hormones to work, and then waiting for getting a date for surgery, and then waiting for the surgery, waiting to recover from surgery. There's just so much waiting. It took me over a year to get my hormones.
Oh, you're in Toronto? In Toronto?
I live out in Whitby.
Okay.
So that's about an approximate hour train ride from here. Yeah, that's the only difficulties I've had, is just a lot of waiting. I've never really been barred from getting anything, so I consider myself very privileged and lucky in that regard. Yeah, it's a lot of waiting.
Have you had a lot of family support?
Yes and no. My family is supportive of some parts of transitioning. They're not really fond of the idea of me changing my name, at least my last name. But otherwise, they're pretty supportive. I've lost a couple people, but not too many.
Family-wise, or family or friends?
Both. My bio dad, we got in a fight. We haven't talked for a few years, and a couple of friends of mine just weren't accepting of changing everything and that kind of stuff. So, but I'm very grateful for the people who have stuck around.
Yeah, I find it funny. When I came out, two of my best friends, knew me for years, cut me loose. Right? One guy used to learn to be a priest. I knew him since a kid. So they came out, adios. It's just so funny.
Yeah, the religious aspect can definitely.
Well, see, I'm Catholic, right? So I'm Catholic,
really?
yeah. So I see both sides.
Did you ever struggle with your identity as a religious person and being?
No, I never did. Because I actually studied for to be a priest, so I'm very comfortable. Because I always say that God loves everybody, right?
Okay, I see.
Whatever you believe, so whatever your beliefs are, whatever you believe in a higher power, for me is God. So when people say, we are sinners and all this stuff, I just laugh at it. I said, really? I was made by God.
Yeah, exactly.
My mom made me, my dad made me, so I guess they're sinners too.
Yeah.
I guess we're all sinners, right? We stop judging and just start listening, like yourself, telling your story. Yeah. That's why I caught you there with your flag there, and I love the colors,
I'm so grateful that you wanted to interview me. That's really good. I've never been interviewed before.
Oh, really? Okay.
So this is a cool first experience.
Oh, cool. So when did you discover you about yourself, like being that?
So I came out when I was 20. I'll be turning 26 this year.
Okay.
But there were signs when I was growing up that I was trans, and I just kind of didn't know. Kind of wanting to have male body parts and that kind of stuff. So I didn't really realize until I got older and the world kind of opened up to me, and I learned what transgender was. And at first I didn't even know that trans men existed. All the people that I saw on TV were all trans women. So it took me a little while to realize, I could transition, and I can actually be the guy that I wished I could be for years and years and years growing up.
Oh, cool.
So
did you have, when you suspected about yourself, did you have, some deniability about yourself? Like, you didn't want to accept the fact that you're different?
Yes, yeah.
Is that because of society, the way you view things, but it's either left or right? It's never in between?
I was really worried about losing the important people in my life. I remember the thing that cracked my egg, as they say, is I was scrolling on Facebook and I saw a post that said cisgender people don't wish that they were the other gender or a different gender all the time, and I was like, oh my stars. And I took a shower and I had a breakdown in the shower.
Oh, wow.
I was like, what does this mean for my relationship? What does this mean for my family? What does this mean for my life going forward? And I was in denial for a few weeks, and then I finally talked to my partner about it, and he was like, well, I kind of need to think about what this means for our relationship. And then he was like, no, I love you for who you are and not your gender, so we're in this together kind of thing. We've been together 11 years.
Oh, great.
So,
Wow, that's something to say, is that?
Yeah, so...
That's nice.
I'm very grateful he stuck around with me.
That's good. What was his fear, though? Like,
I'm not really sure. It's been a while since we talked about that, because once he said that he loved me and wasn't concerned about my gender, I kind of wiped all the concerns from my mind. So,
that's nice.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, do you see yourself in the future, like maybe with your story or your sharing, inspire others? Like, people are going to watch this video on my I got high rating for stuff. Like, people watch. I get a lot of emails from people, and they're going to ask. And so for yourself, do you see yourself telling your story, inspiring people in like high schools and grade?
I'm
not there yet.
Not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Maybe one day, but I do like the idea of inspiring people. I feel like doing this. I feel like it's a small act, but I feel like doing what I do here at Pride is really inspiring for people. I did it last year as well, and I had some people like crying because they were just so overjoyed to see someone doing something like this. So.
I like the old sort of the fly on the wall. People listen to your story, and like young people hear your story, like Isabella, and it affects them, and they're gonna say, you know what, I'm okay. Like, exactly. It's okay to think like that, you know, and it's okay to accept. You're gonna accept rejection will come along the way. It's part of life. Even like a straight person doesn't matter. Love is love, right?
Exactly.
And
yes.
I think I found with the fear of, like, for me, like for yourself probably, is people don't want to accept change. They like their molds, like their 9 to 5 people. You know what I mean? Like the way they view things. And then you come around and say suddenly I'm gay or something like where'd that come from?
Yeah.
You know?
Funny you mentioned.
And they all say, "Are you okay? We can get you better."
Yeah.
That makes me laugh.
It's funny you mentioned that, because when I came out, I really wanted people to be like, congratulations, you know, and
just enthused, right?
Yeah,
just share your joy.
Because I finally realized who I was, and I got a lot of, oh, okay, how do you feel about that? And I'm like, I feel great.
I like that. I like the patronizing, you know, the okay, all right.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, all right, you know.
Yeah, I had a few people close to me say, oh, well, this is so hard for me. And I was like, I can promise you it's harder for me, though. Because, like, I'm the one who's actually going through it. I'm the one risking losing people. I'm the one risking my safety going out now and all this kind of stuff. So, it's been quite the journey, is what I'll say.
I got a quick question for you. People that reject you, they don't want you part of your life anymore because of your change. If you could tell them one message about yourself, about acceptance, just the way you are, what would you tell them?
I'm accepting myself without you. I'm good. I'm fine without you. I'm happy, and having you out of my life has been a burden off my shoulders.
Yeah,
so
like a cloud lifting off your shoulders, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, you get like that. Even no matter gender, you get negative people in your life. Like, I got rid of a whole bunch of people like the last year, so it's like, wow, I was like a cloud. You know, it doesn't matter gender or not, just narcissists, you know, abuse people. Twitter's the worst when I got off Twitter. Oh gosh.
Oh yeah, being on Facebook. I'm personally a Facebook guy.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook now. I got Twitter.
It can get very, very brutal on there sometimes.
Yeah.
It can be ridiculous. I don't want to dwell too much on the negativity. I'm here to have a good time
today.
Yeah. But it's hard seeing all the hate that's still around in the world, and even worse that we've been around trans people, gay people, everyone. We've been around for centuries, and people just don't know. And
so they say Flip Wilson was transgender. You know,
sorry?
Flip Wilson's a little comedian way back, a black comedian.
Yeah.
He's on the way back in the 70s. He used to dress up as a woman, and they said he was part transgender. That's what they say. You know.
I remember reading about, I believe it was an Egyptian pharaoh that was transgender.
Yeah, I know I'm Egyptology. I should know this. I can't think of the name. I know what you're talking about. The pharaoh, yeah.
But
Because
it just shows that it's all the way back.
yeah, because
right?
back then in that I forgot what period. Back then, only men were allowed to be kings, pharaohs. So they couldn't find anybody, so they picked this person. I can't think of the name. It's not Akhenaten. I can't remember the name.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know my Egyptology and all.
Oh, that's cool.
That's great. No, is it government funded? Is it all funded by the government?
My testosterone is mostly funded by my partner's benefits, but my upcoming top surgery will be funded by the government.
Okay, that's
so
great.
I'm very grateful for that. I don't have to worry about the cost. I just need to worry about getting there and recovering.
That's great. I like your little tag there. He, him, his.
Oh yes, yeah.
so
It helps
cute.
keep my flag together, but it also obviously shows my pronouns. So.
Do you want to discuss about the colors of the flags?
I love the trans flag. I loved it before I was trans. But the interesting thing about the flag, so it goes blue, pink, white, pink, blue. That represents male to female, non-binary, and female to male.
That is so cool.
Transition. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I think the colors are great, and then adding on that meaning, I love the flag.
I was gonna ask you a funny question. I do a pod show, right?
Yeah.
I'm up to you'll be my 94th episode.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
so I'm up to close to 100. So the question I ask you is, you have a great time just talking to me freely.
Mm-hmm.
You ever thought doing your own pod show? I don't think there's any out there that I've heard of like a transgender or even like binary.
I've never considered a podcast per se. I have considered a YouTube channel.
Yeah, well, it's the same
so
thing. Yeah,
for
YouTube
gaming.
channel. Yeah.
More so for gaming, but I would also talk about my story. I'm the kind of person who is very open, and I talk about my story, and
Yeah, I love it.
I enjoy sharing it because representation matters. I probably would have cracked my egg a lot earlier if I had seen trans people, and so I believe in kind of showing myself and being out there and teaching people that we exist.
I got a funny question. When you start having your changeover, when you started looking for different clothes, how did you feel about that?
It was such a mix of anxiety and excitement. I remember getting my first binder and putting it on and being like, oh my gosh, my chest is so much flatter. And then a little bit of doubt kicked in. I'm like, well, but there's still a little bit there. Is that normal? Does that look like a guy's chest? And like, it was such a up and down experience. And changing my name socially, I have yet to change my name legally. Changing my name socially was a huge deal, and it was. I finally felt like myself. When I was growing up, I always felt like I was a character in a TV show. My name didn't really feel like my own, and my identity didn't really feel like my own. And then when I transitioned socially, I actually felt like I was living myself now. So.
It feels good now, right?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
And like look at your face, like the relief, like
yeah,
it's so nice.
It's come a long way. I'm a very anxious person naturally, so it was very nerve-wracking, kind of going through the social transition. Coming out to friends and family was a lot, but once I got that support, I felt secure in myself in a way that I never have.
Even if I had caught you way back when you started your journey in an interview like this, how would you have been back then compared to now?
Much more kind of
yeah,
closed in.
Closed in.
I think I still would have been open to talking about it, but it wouldn't have the same energy.
Would you be kind of like nervous, like people watching the show, like catch you on the show, like you're just coming out and you're just saying them, you're not sure, you haven't told everybody, and you're have that fear?
A little bit. Yeah. I would definitely feel insecure back then about passing. So the idea of I'm trying to think of how to describe it without using the word, but the idea of passing as the gender you identify with, I was always, as soon as I came out, I'm like, oh, I want people to address me as he, and I just wish people would see me like that. And so I would probably be nervous seeing all the people see me pre-transition. That'd be I'd feel very insecure about that. But now that I've been on testosterone for 2 years, and I have a mustache, and I just feel so much better. I know that I pass more, so I feel more secure being out there. at the same time, I feel the need to spread the message that you don't have to pass to be trans or to be proud of yourself or anything like that. That's just a personal thing.
That's so cool. Yeah, so funny you mentioned growing a mustache. I can't stand shaving. And you're trying to grow a mustache.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a couple little hairs under.
I got buddies like my brother's like I'm Spanish and Irish, so my brother's got my mom's side Irish. He's all like, oh, no hair, nothing. He's like, and I'm like, my dad's like Spanish and hairy, right?
Yeah.
So like I tell all my buddies that are all these bodybuilders, all these, they're like peach babies. They're like, you guys make me sick. If I go to a competition, I gotta shave all my hair. Like I'm like 10 pounds I lose, right? But it's so funny.
Oh yeah, it was very exciting. Going like as I continued being on testosterone, and finally seeing the signs that it was working. Getting a mustache, getting little beard hairs, and like my thighs used to never grow hair, and now they have hair. Like that's crazy to me. So it you can feel secure without doing all the medical transition, but holy crap, does it help?
Does it? Yeah. Makes a difference. You feel that when you do that change, you feel the growing and the that just more complacent, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm gonna ask you a funny question. With the washrooms around here in Toronto, how do you feel about that?
Oh, it's definitely.
I find it hilarious, right? Yeah.
I used to come here for school, so like I said, I live in Whitby, but I used to go to George Brown here in Toronto, and but I wasn't transitioning at that time, so I wasn't really concerned with the bathroom situation. And now that I've started to transition, I've only recently started using the bathroom that I identify with. I've always been on the lookout for gender-neutral bathrooms, and if there's not a gender-neutral bathroom, I will usually wait till I get home, which can be very uncomfortable, depending on where I am. But I'm seeing more and more places get gender-neutral bathrooms and expressing that they endorse pride and LGBT people. So it's slowly getting there, but it needs to move a little faster, I think.
I've seen a few washrooms right now, not here, but somewhere else. And instead of saying his and hers, it says his gender, meaning like neutral. Can't remember the word now, but meaning like if you're going to a guy's washroom, you have to go to a separate washroom. Like you said, it's kind of segregated. Use the washrooms like it's like gender neutral. Like it's kind of like segregation still in a way.
It is.
So it should be the point that the washroom be eventually. Well, look in the old days. Like I was looking at my history. Like didn't have any signs of men and women. Just go.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And a lot of people cite safety, which I completely understand that. At the same time, I don't think it's that crazy of an idea to just have a room with a bunch of stalls and just anyone can go anywhere. Like, that's... I don't think it's that foreign. I feel like places around the world do that, but I might be talking out of my butt there, so...
No, like I was in the military travel on the road. I've been on the road, and like especially the Philippines, there's no different. No, there's not like over here it's more centralized as a stereotype, like segregated.
Yes.
And I found over there, like even like over there when I like if the washroom, the men's is busted, I go use the women's washroom. Women come in there, no big deal. It's very open.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, I like to always say the washroom in your house is gender neutral. Like, I don't think it's that foreign to consider it being a public thing, like just more gender neutral bathrooms, family bathrooms as they call them. I do understand still having the option of having a gender segregated bathroom. I think some people do just feel safer that way.
Yeah.
And I think that the choice should still be there. But I just think all the options should be available because then everyone has the chance to be comfortable.
So I ask you, did your food palette change as you went through the change?
A little bit. I noticed that I did start liking things that I didn't particularly like before, like tomatoes.
I like that too. I hate it.
I don't like raw tomatoes.
No, I like it cooked or fried. Yeah.
I'll have it in sauce. I used to not eat spaghetti sauce, and now I do. That's the only thing I can really think of in terms of food-wise, but my metabolism definitely changed. My fat redistributed, so yeah, and I also started eating a lot more. Like, you eat like a teenage boy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
One of my transgender friends, she made a good joke. She goes, "Now I'm transgender. I can eat the Hungry Man meals now. The TV dinners."
Yes,
I did the other day at the grocery store. I was one of my friends, and he's from the community. He goes, "Look at that, hungry man! I can't eat that. I'm going through the change."
I love.
I said, "You know what? They'll make it in the future. Right to Swanson or the companies. Listen, can we have neutral dinners? You know,
Yes.
a binary TV dinner has everything except for the fruitcakes."
Oh, I love that.
You got to joke about it, right? You have to have,
exactly.
You know,
I'll share my favorite. LGBT joke.
Oh, cool.
What did the non-binary ninja do to the samurai?
What?
They slashed it up. It's lame, but I love it. It's my favorite joke. I think it's so
my
funny.
God, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Wow, nice talking to you. Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you just came. I was just taking a picture of your stuff here, and you just came walking on. I asked you to do an interview. I also asked your permission, and your first interview, right?
Yes.
That's so
this is
cool.
my first interview, so I feel very honored.
That's so. I got you at 20 minutes, so you were episode 94. So,
Great.
and just I'm gonna put on it's called Cruising the Field. I'll give the information. I just finished the website, and it'll be on. I'll probably put it on in 2 days because it takes a while to download and all that. But it'll be on there permanently, and people watch. It'll go on YouTube. That's also be distributed on my website. It's got all the different I got accounts on Apple, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Google. The thing is, they Anchor as a Webberg platform. When you go to Anchor and download it, it goes to Spotify, which is also on Spotify as well, and automatic. It saves me time for going all over the place. Yeah, so it's great. So they'll be on there so people can hear your story and all. So that's great. So I was going to ask you one more question. Anything you want to add? You want to discuss? Anything else you want to add?
Not particularly. I think I've kind of hit all my major talking points. You know, love is love. Be yourself. Representation matters. And
Do you think your third year down here?
Sorry?
Your third year coming to...
This is my third year down, yeah.
How'd you find the first time coming down, for yourself?
I was with a group, so I felt more secure being with other people that I knew.
Yep.
But I was still a little anxious. There were so many people. It was so loud, all the music. But I found this sense of I'm finally surrounded by people who know what it's like to be trans and to be queer and just be different. It feels like home, and it's great. So I still get that feeling every year. It still brings a tear to my eye.
That's so cool.
And I love it.
I see other countries they're following our suit with Toronto. I think Toronto's now the world leader in equal rights. We're the first country to have equal marriages rights. I had a lot of guys that couldn't get benefits, now they get it all. So now other countries still in the loop. So when you see other countries still kind of at that point of not acceptance, what would you tell them?
It's hard to say. It's such a cultural difference, outside of Toronto. But I just wish that everyone could live their lives peacefully. If you're not harming people, why does it matter what you're doing?
Yeah.
So I just wish that other countries would catch on.
I got a friend from Egypt. He's going to be here today. I'll see him, and he told me that when he goes home, he can't even talk about his sexuality to this day.
Yeah.
And he's had a partner for 20 years over here in Toronto.
Really?
But he's lucky. His parents don't have access to the internet. But so what's the big deal now? But he's afraid, like I said, afraid of being shunned by the community, the Middle Eastern and all that.
There really is a fear of isolation because when the human brain is isolated, it just tears itself apart. I don't blame people, especially experiencing it myself, for fearing that isolation. It really can be deadly for some people. So I don't blame people for staying in the closet if it keeps them safe.
Yeah.
Being out and proud is a privilege, and I'm grateful for that privilege, and I understand that not everyone has that. So,
when I ran the election for mayor, along with some of those candidates, we're all good friends to this day, we discussed about lack of committees in City Hall. For example, binary. There's nothing concrete, you can go, a committee of transgender, even a committee of special needs, disabilities and accessibility. There's groups, there's town halls, but I mean every day, once a week, whatever, just meeting and talking. You only cover so much by once a month. But I'm saying, would you see yourself in a committee if City Hall offered it?
That's quite the leap.
Yeah. If they said we need a voice, you're telling your story here. That's
Yeah.
And then,
I think I would. I would probably feel more comfortable with it farther down in my transition, only because I would have more to talk about and more to weigh in on. I would want my voice to be as valuable as it could be. But I'm kind of on the fence about it. I'm not really sure. I've never considered kind of going that big.
Yeah.
But
well, after this, you'll be no more. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be much more out there than just here in Toronto. So
that's great.
I'm excited.
That's great. Well, nice talking to you. Thanks for the interview. I'll put it on the YouTube. Nice to meet you. Pleasure to meet you. Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to actually write down your
yeah, I'll give it out here. I'm going to cut off here. So I'm going to say thank you so much, and I'll put you on. Yeah, my first interview for Pride. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I feel so honored.
First is always the best, right?
Yes.
I love that.
agree.
Yeah. So I'll say thank you so much.